Once again, welcome back to Stu's Tech. Sorry that I've been away for a while, the world has gone crazy. I will be taking a break from the tech rumors about the PS5 and the Series X, but will be keeping my ear open. Once I hear something, I will cover it. Until that happens, I think that it will be fun to do some game reviews. One game that I want to talk about, a game that is near and dear to my heart, Streets of Rage. I know that it is a late review, but I really like assessing the game, getting over the hype, playing it over and over, and really seeing what the game is about, not just rushing something just to put out a video. Now, back in the day, beat 'em up games were very popular. We have legends like Turtles in Time, Final Fight, Golden Axe, the infamous Battletoads, Double Dragon, and much more. When playing them in the arcade, these games were definitely quarter monsters. But man, how I miss the days where you get a couple of your friends with a fistful of quarters and try to beat the game before your quarter supply is exhausted. I will never forget how I felt when seeing an arcade machine begging for my quarters, challenging me, and there was real consequence when you died. A monetary consequence. And now comes a new Streets of Rage, not just a remake, not a remaster, but another installment of Streets of Rage. So let's see if this lives up to one of the legendary beat 'em up games. If you like this content, please hit that subscribe button, add that notification bell, and like always, share with your friends so that this channel can grow. Streets of Rage 4 is a continuation of the Streets of Rage series, where Mr. X's children, which are twins and are called Mr. and Miss Y, are in power of his evil empire. To catch you up real quick, if you don't know the story, his empire was toppled by Axel, Skate, and Dr. Zan in Streets of Rage 3. And now his children are planning on taking over the city by using music to control people's minds. It is up to you to save the city from this evil takeover. Axel and Blaze are back with two new characters, Cherry, who is Adam's daughter, and Floyd, who is given robotic arms by Dr. Zan to rid the city of this evil crime syndicate. Now I know, sounds like a horrible storyline. Welcome to the game stories of the 90s. The feel of this game is awesome, and it was so nice to get away from the first-person shooters and RPG games. Just to get out there and bash some faces with your fist feels great. Don't be mistaken, this is not just a button smasher. This takes a lot of skill, and on Mania difficulty, a little bit of luck and patience. The gameplay is very well thought out and balanced in a way that on harder difficulty settings, it almost pushes you over the edge with frustration, but doesn't because the controllers are spot on. And there are always ways to get out of ridiculous amounts of trouble if you manage your resources right. That doesn't mean that there aren't flaws though, and we'll get into that. There are 12 levels, and each level is beautifully hand-drawn. Actually, everything in this game is hand-drawn, with the exception of the old school characters. The lighting makes everything come to life, with reflections off of street puddles and off the characters themselves. Even the retro characters that you unlock from Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 look awesome in this game, even though they didn't upgrade them from the pixely art. Let's talk music. Streets of Rage is known for the music. It was iconic, crazy, and rugged. Just listen to the music. Every one of the tracks get you into the action. You can get deeply immersed in the gameplay itself just with the music. I have to admit, Streets of Rage 3 had awesome soundtracks, one of my favorites, but I still think that Streets of Rage 4 beats it out because of the transitions that it makes when a new enemy is introduced. One of the best transitions is when the bodyguards get introduced in the Wide Tower level. They have one of the most OG introductions of the whole game. You can tell that the developers who made this game just didn't want to get a couple of quick bucks, but were truly fans of the franchise. The music is so good that a limited edition vinyl was released, and a CD soundtrack was included with some of the physical releases of the game. So is this like the old Streets of Rage? Yes, Streets of Rage has always evolved and made bold moves with every installment, and this one is no different. They added 3 new features, the first being the grade system. The grade system is based on points that you earn during gameplay, added with the number of lives, health, special moves that you haven't used, and time. These are added as a bonus at the end of the level. Based on the points that you have accumulated during that level, you will get a grade. D being the lowest, never seen an F, I guess that's when you die, and A being the highest, but you can also obtain the coveted S rank if you manhandle the level. The second is the combo system, a very welcome addition to the game. It makes you fight intelligently, and it also makes people put up ridiculous high combo numbers. Just look it up on YouTube, it's crazy. It only resets if it times out or if you get hit by an enemy. The higher the combo, the bigger the bonus you get at the end of the combo count. This allows you to get that elusive S rank at the end of each level. Go Genos! But be warned, if you get greedy and somebody hits you when you have a 125 hit combo, you don't get a bonus at all. The third is juggling. What is a fighting game these days without being able to juggle your opponent in the air? As the player, you have 3 things that give you a slight advantage over the ridiculous amounts of enemies that you will be facing. 2 special moves, which are offensive and defensive, to get you out of situations where you know you are about to get your butt handed to you. But be warned, the offense special move does not make you invincible, and you can get out of it especially when the game just wants to taunt. But the defensive move guards against all attacks and can save your combo bonus points. Nothing like losing a combo bonus from a jab or a headbutt from a nobody. All of that work for nothing. Be warned that these powers eat at your life every time you use them, and as long as you are attacking and hitting people, you will get your power back. But if you get hit, you will take damage from that hit, plus you will lose what you haven't recovered from the special attack. You also have the star attack. This attack wrecks people, but it is very limited. You start out with 1 star and you have to find other stars throughout the level, which are really scarce. So make sure that you use them when you need them. I usually use them if I get really frustrated. Yeah, this game has gotten to me multiple times. You want to know why this game is frustrating to me? Because you don't have any real way to evade attacks with any of the characters except the retro characters from Streets of Rage 3. Streets of Rage 3 characters get to roll up and down on the board to get out of the way of bullets or special attacks that enemy has. But all of the other characters, they just casually walk, like they're taking a stroll in the park. The only person that can run is Cherry, and I think that's funny because she is carrying a guitar and she is the smallest of the group, but she's the only one that can run. You ever try to run with a guitar strapped on your back? Talking about not being able to avoid being hit, Floyd, he is just way too slow and big not to get hit, and is very frustrating to use. On easy and normal settings, he is alright. On hard, you can start to see where his limitations are. Not only is he big and slow, he gets hurt like everyone else from any attack. It just looks so weird when some little enemy stuns such a big guy. It would have been nice if the developers would have given him a 2 or 4 hit resistance where it would still hurt him but didn't affect his attacks. That would make him a better balanced character in the game. Now, one thing that I don't get is why the game designers made certain enemies and all bosses have a flashpoint. That's what I call it. When they are in this state, they can't get hurt with punches, grabs, or offensive special moves. Defensive special moves can knock them out of it. But even though it is frustrating, it makes you think on how you are going to attack. The biker chicks, they pretty much abuse this move. I hate these enemies. They are the most frustrating enemies that you will face in the game, especially on higher difficulty settings. These biker chicks do a Battletoad move where they charge up with a headbutt that sends you flying all over the screen. When you first meet them, they aren't that bad, but in level 12 on hardest, they are an absolute nightmare. I haven't gotten to them yet on Mania, but I am not looking forward to it. Another enemy that I can't stand are the Big Bens. They are mostly invincible when they are attacking. The only one that isn't is the guy that does a swan dive at you. You can kick him out of the air, but the fire breather Ben and the one that rolls around like a roly-poly on crack, these guys are horrible, especially when they're done attacking you and then start laughing. When you get 3 or more of these guys all laughing at you, your blood starts to boil. I do have to say the bosses are a letdown. There are no real difficult bosses. Well, there is this one, and the only reason why he's difficult is because he has the biker chicks with him. Not only that, he has this ridiculous kick that when he's using it, he's blinking, which makes him invincible. And when you get the end boss halfway through their health, they do this charge where their special attack becomes more powerful. So he starts kicking all over the place like a madman in the blinking state while all these crazy biker chicks are trying to headbutt you. On hardest and mania, be ready to get your butt handed to you. The biker chicks go insane with him spinning like a top. There's been times where they just juggled my character in the air, hitting me over and over and over. Then death. Other than that, you can breeze through all the other bosses, especially the last boss, but I won't do any spoilers. There were 3 characters that were bosses that I thought I was going to be able to unlock, and was a little disappointed when I found out that they weren't unlockable. I hope that they make a DLC that will allow them to become playable characters. Isol, which is the boss of the Old Pier and the Skytrain. Max, he is the playable character in Streets of Rage 2, and is the boss of the Y Tower. Music, mind control, man. The third is Shiva in Chinatown, which is Axel's brother. The replayability of the game is high. You can have different experiences with the different characters, and you can unlock all the characters from Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 through a point system after each successful run of the main game. You can also fight retro bosses through the arcade consoles by hitting the arcade machine with tasers to unlock those bosses. It's a pretty cool homage to the other games. What makes it so cool too is that they reward you for beating the levels and the game with a character that you haven't before. I'm pretty sure that that's probably an achievement if you beat all the levels and the game with every character, but I haven't done it yet. Multiplayer is alright, and frustrating, and chaotic, and you really don't know what the heck is going on. It was actually harder playing with people than playing by myself, especially if you have more than 2 players that continue to get in your way. If you want to test your patience, this is a good way to do it. You can really mess up somebody's flow and rhythm, especially if you're not playing as a team, and you could run into each other, which can stop you from attacking or getting something that you need. And some players are so about themselves that they will pick up all the health just for the points, even if you barely have it. You can also turn on friendly hits. I can't imagine what that would be like. That would just be terrible. There's also a battle mode, which I don't like, but there is a cheat that somebody that couldn't win, anybody in our group found. It's in the glass elevator stage. You choose one of the old school characters. Axel in Streets of Rage 1 is the best for this cheat. And if you catch them in a corner, you can juggle them up against the glass until it breaks, and then knock them out of the elevator. You do this to somebody even with full health just once, and you will probably win the match because it takes a massive amount of health away from your opponent. But this guy that I'm talking about couldn't win on any other level. I highly recommend this game to anybody that just wants to have a good time with their friends. This is a game that you have people come over, you order some pizzas, and you just play the game. Yes, sometimes it can be frustrating and everything, but in the end, it is really fun. The whole online play thing is cool, but it's just not the same as actually being able to be there with a friend or friends to experience it on the same console together. Don't get me wrong, I like the way that you can play with players from around the world online, but I think that all of this social media has taken away the real connection that people get when they are face to face in the same room. I would give this game an 8 out of 10. The difficulty is pretty much on par. There are some cheap hits, but that's what these games are all about. I like feeling the rush of trying not to get hit, especially if I'm in the middle of a 98 hit combo, trying to get to 100 and then trying to get that bonus. It is a frustrating game, but it's a good frustration. It brings back that old good beat 'em up craziness. The developers should be proud on what they have produced, and I thank them for not just slapping something together. I'm happy that they were able to make a Streets of Rage feel like a Streets of Rage, even with new characters. What character do you use? And have you been able to get an S grade on hard or above on all the levels? What boss do you think is the most difficult? Please comment below, and if you want me to do a review on any other game, please put it down in the comment box. If you like this content, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share so that this channel can grow. And like always, live long and play hard, my friends. I'm out.